My
My pranams
pranams
to
to
all members of
all
the
Atma Jyotis.
meditation and study circle.
My pranams to all members of the meditation and study circle. Today, we are going to talk on Panchadashi of Swami Vidyaranya. Panchadashi is a text for Tattva Jnana, means understanding the reality. The counterpart of Panchadashi is Jivan Mukti Viveka, effect of understanding, effect of self-realization, Jivan Mukti or liberation. So we are doing both the texts. During weekdays, I am doing Jivan Mukti Viveka, and in meditation study circle, I am doing Panchadashi. In this Panchadashi, the text Panchadashi, Swami Vidyaranya has taken in the first chapter Tattva Jnana. In the last two classes, we went through Sat and Chit. The Brahman or the consciousness has three aspects: Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat and Chit are taken in the last class. Today, Ananda aspect is taken, most important aspect of Brahman called Ananda. So all of us, all of you are Brahman. Tat Tvam Asi. You are already that. So being Brahman, what are we seeking and why are we seeking? For that, we have to understand the depression, the topic of depression. In today's world, depression is very, very common. People go to psychiatrists, therapists for getting treatment for depression. The depression, the problem of depression is not today. It's ancient. We have heard of Arjuna's depression, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Have you heard of Sri Rama's depression? Have you heard of depression of various ancient people? Have you heard the depression of Narada? Let us understand this concept of depression. So, Narada was depressed. You have to imagine, of all the people, Narada, who is considered as a great enlightened, great Gnani, he was in depression. He has studied in Gurukula for 64 subjects he has studied. And after studying 64 subjects also, he was not feeling happy, unhappiness. The same thing happened to Sri Ramachandra also. Narada was depressed after study of all the subjects. Sri Ramachandra was depressed after study of all the subjects. Sri Ramachandra had to get a teaching from Vashishta Rishi. Narada had to get a teaching from Sanat Kumara, Brahmaji's son. So Narada is, after study, Narada was a bright student. He had studied 64 subjects. After studying 64 subjects, he had no peace. He was not happy at all. He went on searching for his guru. Then he meets Sanat Kumara. Narada's guru is called Sanat Kumara, who is Brahmaji's son. Narada tells his problem. I have studied all the subjects. Still, I am not feeling happy. I am depressed. Then Sanat Kumara tells him, my dear Narada, you are a scholar. You have studied all Vedas, Upanishads, everything. But one thing is missing in your life. You have not realized your true self. Our true self, Brahman, has to be realized. Then only depression will go. So what's happening in the world today, everybody has a degree of depression. Somebody mild, somebody heavy. But the depression doesn't go. You go to a psychiatrist, you go to a therapist, depression will not go. Because the root of depression is Atmadnana, self-knowledge. Until you get a self-knowledge, understanding that I am Brahman, realization that I am Brahman, the depression will not go. Sanat Kumara gave Narada teaching of Atmadnana, and Narada became very peaceful. So this comes in one of the Upanishads. Then Sri Ramachandra, also after studying in Gurukula, he goes on a tour and he sees everybody is in sort of sorrow. Unhappiness seems to be very common in the world. Sri Ramachandra says, comes to Vashishta Maharshi, says, I don't know, everything in the world is temporary, I am unhappy. Then Vashishta Rishi gives Ramachandra Atmadnana, teaching of Tattvamasi. This self-knowledge alone frees from the suffering. This is the essence of spirituality. Without self-knowledge, no matter what you study, how much you understand, and go through various teachings, the suffering will not go. The depression will not go. The root of depression is Atmadnana, avidya, ignorance. So let us understand another dimension. Everybody in the world is running after something. Some people run after money, going around money. Some people go around the temple. Ultimately, people keep on going round and round like a giant wheel. Giant wheel goes up, goes down. So life is like a giant wheel. You go up, you feel happy, and it goes down, you feel unhappy. Happiness, unhappiness alternates. Everybody in the world is after running after something, going after something. I want this, I want this, I want this. They keep on chasing something. Some people chase money, some people chase power, some people chase position, some people chase possession. All we call as anatma, pancha-anatma, people chase. The life goes round and round, round like a giant wheel. And while chasing, the giant wheel goes up, people will feel happy, goes down, people goes up, people will start crying, then goes down, people will start shouting. So life also will go up and down like a giant wheel. When it goes up, people will happy. I'm on the top of the world. When it goes down, mind is like a swing. Now, what are people going after? Money, power, position, relationships. All these are temporary. Why people go after all these? Nobody goes after money for the sake of money. Nobody goes after relationship for the sake of relationship. Or power, or position. Everybody is trying to get some happiness out of the situation. Every single being, living being, animal or human being, is going behind happiness. Happiness, circle of happiness. Joy, sorrow, like a giant wheel, up and down, up and down. So this is a constant struggle, looking for happiness, coming out of unhappiness. Happiness, unhappiness. Happiness, unhappiness. It's a stress in life. The real stress in life is constant search for happiness and trying to avoid suffering. So happiness is the center of our life. If happiness is the center of our life, and Vedanta says, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman, you are of the nature of happiness. Why I am not able to find it? So people speak of, we ask for somebody, he says, I am a deeply spiritual person. What you do? I am searching for truth. And a religious person says, I am searching for God. A religious person goes around the God. A spiritual person goes around the truth. A material person goes around the money. But what they are doing? They are not going after beyond around the God. They are not going for truth. They are not going for money. All of them are trying to get a permanent happiness. The search is for permanent happiness. Constant search. So that happiness is called Ananda. Sri Vidyaranya in shloka number 13 to 14, 13 onwards, 11 to 14, he speaks of Ananda Swarupa, the nature of happiness. What is this Ananda Swarupa? So let us understand the nature of happiness. Everybody knows what is happiness. Nobody has to tell you what is happiness, and nobody has to tell you what is unhappiness. Happiness we can classify into 4 categories: unconscious, conscious, superconscious, and happiness of self-realization. 4 categories: unconscious, conscious, superconscious, or samadhi, and self-realization. Everybody, every single person is seeking happiness, 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 and avoid suffering. Now, you can be seeking happiness unconsciously also. Unconscious happiness. But we are seeking. For example, every day in deep sleep, we are unconscious. There's a happiness. Every single person wants deep sleep because there's happiness unconsciously. People take liquor or alcohol. Unconscious happiness. People become alcoholic. Unconscious happiness. Somewhere, unconsciously, we are seeking happiness all the time. Let us take the conscious happiness. Unconsciously, we seek happiness. Unconsciously, we seek happiness. I want money. I want power. I want position. I want relationships. I want. Is what you are seeking. You are seeking happiness only. Consciously. So consciously, we are seeking happiness. Unconsciously, we are seeking happiness. And happiness is God. Anandam, Anando, Brahmeti. Brahman is Ananda. So we are seeking God. When people speak of God, they are really speaking of happiness, Ananda. If that is the case, Swami Vidyaranya says people are seeking happiness consciously, but still they are not satisfied. No amount of happiness what you get satisfactory. Unconsciously people seek happiness. Consciously and unconsciously people seek happiness. Conscious happiness also doesn't satisfy people. I want more. I want more happiness. I want permanent happiness. A dil mange more. So now the question is, Vidyaranya asks, why people are not happy? Conscious happiness also. Unconscious happiness, okay. Conscious happiness, why they are not happy? Good enough. Any amount of happiness seems to be not satisfactory. Any amount of happiness seems to be not satisfactory. Vidyaranya asks, why people are not happy with conscious happiness also? Then there's next other question comes. So some people try to find superconscious happiness. What is superconscious happiness? Enter into states of samadhi, bliss, ananda, samadhi ananda. Somewhere a yogi or a spiritual person is trying to find bliss in samadhi. A material person tries to find some happiness in money, pancha anatma, people, position, relationships, like that. And people, everybody, all living beings try to find happiness in unconscious happiness in sleep or alcoholism. A yogi tries to find happiness in samadhi, but only one who has found happiness, eternal happiness, is Atmadnani, self-realized. He is not seeking happiness in any way because he is of Ananda Swarupa. He has become Brahman. He is Brahman. Otherwise, all attempts are to seek happiness, Ananda. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. Chase is for Ananda. In Upanishad, there is a scale for Ananda, measurement scale, happiness measurement scale. The various levels of beings are described as having happiness. Human happiness, Manusha Gandharva happiness, Deva Gandharva happiness, like that many scales of happiness are mentioned. For example, let us take a very healthy human being. Very healthy human being, very wealthy, intelligent. He is good. His happiness, if you take as 100 times happiness of such a normal human being is the happiness of a Manushya Gandharva. Manushya Gandharva means a musician. You have to see a musician, how joyful they sing. They're happy. 100 times more happy than the Manushya, human being. And Deva Gandharva, so the human musicians, beyond them is Deva Gandharva, the musician of gods. They are much more happy, much more blissful. All these divine singers. Then 100 times Deva Gandharva's happiness is Pitru's happiness. Pitrus means ancestors, the people who have departed. Then there are devatas whose happiness is 100 times more than the Pitru's happiness. They are actually the human beings who have become devatas. Then there are devatas who are born in the Devaloka itself. So their happiness 100 times Ajana Devata. Then 100 times Devata's happiness is called Deva joy. Those who are divine beings, celestial beings. Then Indra has 100 times more happiness than Devas. And Brahaspati, Guru of Indra, has 100 times more happiness than Indra. Prajapati, Brahmaji, has 100 times more happiness than Brahaspati. But one thing you have to notice, all of these are unhappy. Even though their happiness is more and more, highest happiness, eternal happiness is Brahmananda, is the bliss of a self-realized person. His Ananda has nothing missing. So now, this is called Ananda Vimamsa. It's called Taittiriya Upanishad. It comes about on the scale of Ananda. An ordinary human being, his happiness, a musician, his happiness is 100 times an ordinary human being. A Deva Gandharva, his happiness is 100 times a human musician. Up to Brahmaji's happiness, each is 100 times more. But you have to understand, all these people are still unhappy with all the happiness. Okay? Only person who is fully free from all unhappiness is Atmadnani or Brahmadnani. His happiness is ultimate, it's no comparison, infinite. So this is told to give the importance of Atmadnana or Brahmadnana. So now all living beings are to some extent happy and to some extent unhappy. Even Brahmaji, Indra, everybody. Take Indra. Indra's happiness is very large, very happy because he is very powerful. He is king of devatas. But still, He has a fear. Tomorrow, Asuras will come and attack my kingdom. I will lose my kingdom. So all happiness is corrupted by fear. Tomorrow I will lose happiness. A Manisha, human being, very good human being, wealthy, healthy, he is happy. But behind his mind, one day my youth will go, one day my money will go, I will die. That fear will be there. So happiness is mixed with the fear. That's why the fear causes the unhappiness. This goes all the way up to Brahmaji also. Brahmaji also is unhappy. He is happy compared to human beings, but unhappy because everywhere there is a fear of losing happiness is there. Only Brahmadnani or Atmadnani has no fear of losing happiness because he is not gaining happiness through samadhi or any practice. He is Ananda Swarupa. Whatever you gain, conscious happiness through sleep, or conscious happiness in unconscious happiness in sleep, or conscious happiness through material objects, both you lose because they're temporary. But Swarupa Ananda, Ananda of self, Brahman, is eternal. There's no fear. That's why Brahmadnani alone has infinite bliss, Ananda Swarupa. No, I will do samadhi practice and get Ananda. No, he doesn't have to do samadhi practice also because he is Ananda Swarupa. Yeah, yogi has to do. Yogi will be afraid. After I come out of samadhi, I'll again lose Ananda. Ananda Swarupa recognition is very important. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. The self-realization is important. So this is the nature of Ananda. Now, Swami Vidyaranya asks now. Swami Vidyaranya asks, if Ananda is so fundamental to our life, all of us are seeking Ananda. Ananda is very essential to our life. And you are Ananda Swarupa, you are Brahman only. Why we are missing Ananda? Why are missing our essential nature? Brahman is three: Sat, Chit, Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss is nature of Brahman. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means existence. Chit means consciousness. See, Sat, Chit, Ananda is three aspects of Brahman. Nobody has to tell you Sat and Chit. If I ask you, do you exist? Yeah, I exist. No, I cannot prove you that you don't exist. Because existence is known to you intuitively. Existence is known very intuitively. Existence nobody has to prove. That means you know deep inside is your Sat. Then I ask you, are you aware? You'll say, yes, I am aware. No, prove that you are aware. I can't prove that I am aware. I am aware. I know I am aware. Awareness is also intuitive. That means Sat is intuitive, Chit is intuitive. Nobody has to teach you. Sat means existence. Chit means consciousness. Existence and consciousness, which is nature of Brahman, is evident to us. We don't have to search any spiritual textbook for that. We don't need to go to tapasya for that. But third aspect is missing. Ananda. What is not intuitive to us is my nature of Ananda. Ananda Swarupa is not intuitive. Ananda is covered. Sat and Chit are not covered. Sat and Chit are covered by the body, but with discrimination we can come out of that. Ananda aspect, everybody, spiritual seeker or a religious person or a material person, everybody is searching for Ananda, which is their nature, Ananda Swarupa. Happiness, they are searching. What is this happiness? Why we are searching for happiness? Because take your experience of happiness. When you're happy, you feel boundless, limitless. Happiness makes us feel limitless. Limitlessness is our nature. Infinity is our nature. Happiness makes us feel we are connected with our nature much more closely compared to suffering. When there is suffering, we'll shrink, we'll become small, 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 small. When there's happiness, we'll expand, 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 expand. Expansion is nature of happiness. So Swami Vidyaranya says, why people are able to recognize Sat and Chit much more easily compared to Ananda. Why that's so? He gives an example. There's a pratibandha or a block for that. Block for recognizing Ananda. What is the block? He gives an example. A father goes to Gurukula. In Gurukula, so many children are singing Samaveda, very melodious singing. The father knows his son is there in the group, but he is not able to recognize the son because everybody is singing. All people are singing. So father is not able to recognize my son. What is the voice of my son? So there is a difficulty for father to recognize his son's singing voice. The challenge here, in a group, many people are singing, to recognize his child singing is difficult. So that's exactly what happens to us. In the world, there's a group activity going on. Many activities are going on. Every activity seems to be giving some happiness. Oh, go to a movie, there's happiness. Eat a food, there's happiness. Okay, you meet some person, there's some happiness. So many places you find happiness in little quantity. In that happiness, which is like a group singing, to find out your own Swarup Ananda is difficult. You're lost. Then even if you find Swarup Ananda, you'll confuse with some other happiness in the elsewhere. Even if he finds his son is singing, he may confuse with somebody else singing as my son singing. Both will happen. It's called pratibandha, pratibada. Pratibada prevents you from knowing your Swarup Ananda. The world is full of its Maya Bajar, no? Everything is happiness. Go to a movie, there's happiness. Go to a cup of coffee, there's happiness. Eat some food, there's happiness. So many places you find small happiness. So your true happiness is lost in this cacophony or orchestra of happiness which is happening in the world. You cannot recognize your true happiness. And even if you recognize your happiness, you will confuse it with something else. Even if you recognize his son's voice, he'll confuse with somebody else's voice for that. Why is this so? That's where we have to understand the nature of happiness. The happiness, we think that happiness is in objects. We think that happiness is in relationship. Happiness is in money. Happiness is in power. Happiness is in position. Happiness is nowhere in any of this. Happiness is not there in the objects at all. Objects of the world don't give us happiness. In fact, they give us unhappiness. See, if happiness is in the object of the world, the same object should give happiness to both the people. Having money is happiness. Having money is happiness for somebody. Having money is a worry for somebody. When will I lose the money? Money doesn't give happiness, gives happiness to somebody, and money gives also worry and tension to somebody else. Happiness is not in money. Relationships. If happiness in relationships, a relationship will give happiness to somebody. A relationship also gives unhappiness to somebody. So from this we have to understand, happiness is not in any of the objects of the world. It's called Pancharatma. Possession, relationships, power, money, and body. All these things which are temporary cannot give happiness. They don't have happiness. Then why people are looking for happiness in them? Because they don't know happiness is their nature, Atma Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, they don't know. Nature of the self, they don't know. Sat and Chit is obvious. Ananda is not obvious. So the entire spiritual journey is search for Ananda. It's not about God. It's not about truth. It's about Ananda. The truth, spiritual journey is about Ananda. Happiness, bliss. So now what happens? For that, we have to understand why there is unhappiness. If I want something, my thoughts will increase. For example, I want jalebi. The moment I want jalebi, I want this quality of jalebi from this shop, the number of thoughts will increase. It's called vritti. When thoughts will increase, our nervous system gets heated up. Hormones which are causing, which are unhappiness, are hormones which cause happiness are reduced when the brain gets heated up. Brain gets a lot of thoughts increase. I want creates, reduces the hormones of happiness in the brain. So I feel unhappy. So what is the cause of unhappiness? Is the I want thought. I want. That is causing the unhappiness. Thoughts will, I want thought will multiply like Rakta Bijasura. Nervous system gets heated up. Brain gets full of thoughts. The thoughts cause you unhappiness. So I want jamun. I want jalebi. The thought is there. Thoughts will increase. But once I get jalebi, I put into my mouth. Jalebi has gone into my mouth. Now thoughts will come down. Mind becomes silent. When the mind becomes silent, hormones related to happiness are released in our nervous system. So I feel happy. But the happiness is temporary because I have not recognized that happiness as my own happiness. Ananda Swarupa I have not recognized. Just like father could not recognize the singing of the music, singing of Veda mantra by his son, we are not recognized that Ananda has come from Atma Swarupa. So the mind starts associating Ananda with jalebi, with an object. Object has no happiness. Now we are in trap. We keep looking for happiness in the objects of the world instead of looking for happiness in the inner self. So this confusion caused by the mind does not allow us to recognize Ananda. So how do we get Ananda? Reduce the thoughts in the mind. Mind has to become silent. The more silent mind is, more is Ananda reflected in the mind. Of course, reflected Ananda is called Samadhi Sukha. That's also reflected Ananda. The original Ananda is your own nature. You have to find finally our own nature. Ananda Swarupa. So the process of happiness you have to understand. Happiness is not there in the objects at all. I want happiness is also a thought. Because when you say I want happiness, you are not recognizing that happiness is your nature. You want happiness, you are thinking that happiness can be purchased as a commodity from object. That's also a thought. Seeking happiness is also a thought. So thoughts cause unhappiness. Thoughtlessness or silence of the mind gives peace. The silence of the mind happens unconsciously in deep sleep. That's called unconscious happiness. The same silence of the mind happens when I eat jalebi. For momentarily there will be happiness. Again the happiness is lost. That's why happiness is temporary. That's the difference between the various levels of happiness. From all the way up to human being, all the way up to Brahmaji, the levels of happiness, because everybody is afraid of losing happiness. Thoughts will come. Only Atmadnani is free from losing happiness. That's why his Ananda is infinite. So unhappiness is caused by thoughts. Happiness is the silence of the mind is called happiness. How can you become thoughtless? That's what through Atma Vichara, self-inquiry, who am I? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, and Seva, we have to make our mind silent. Nobody in the world is seeking an object. In reality, they are seeking a happiness. But we don't know that happiness is not the object. Happiness, we confuse inner happiness with the object. So in reality, all happiness in our life is happiness of the self reflected in the mind. Brahmananda, bliss of the self only is reflected in all objects of the world. We don't recognize that. Ananda alone is there. So that's why, but why we seek happiness? Why we seek happiness? Because happiness is connected with our nature. Our nature is infinite. Finiteness is not our nature. But I feel I am limited by the body, mind, and intellect. Body, mind, and intellect, identification of the body, mind, and intellect gives me sense of limitation. To recognize ನಾನು ನಾನೆಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಸಚಿದಾನಂದಾತ್ಮ ಶಿವನಾನ್ ನಾನೇ, ಶಿವೋಹಂ is the secret of happiness. Happiness is not in the objects. Happiness is not in relationships. Happiness is not in money. Happiness is not in power. Happiness is not possession. Happiness is jnana. I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. I'm not the intellect. I'm pure consciousness. We have to recognize our true nature as Ananda Surupa. This is the solution for freedom from depression. Otherwise, all the way from Rama, Narada, Arjuna, the depression is the ancient disease. Today, modern world, you may see people are happy just because they put some nice powder and now face this thing. But inside, there's a depression lurking. Everybody is unhappy in the world. It's a general statement. We may think that they're happy from outside, but deep inside, unhappiness is there. And the cause of unhappiness is thoughts. Thought-free mind is bliss. A Atmadnani has gone beyond mind. That's why he is of the nature of bliss, Ananda. For the depression, there's no solution. Therapy, psychiatry, medicine, none of them will solve. That's what Narada was told by his Guru Sanat Kumara, that your depression, even though you're well educated, you can get rid of your depression only through Atmadnana. Sri Ramachandra, who is Avatara himself, was told to become free from your depression, you have to get Atmadnana. Atmadnana is the only solution. So this is the summary of what Swami Vidyaranya says. Now let us understand why we are looking for happiness. Why? What makes us search for happiness? Just imagine the state of happiness, even little bit happiness. I mean, each of us will have happiness, no? Sleep is happiness. In sleep, what will happen? There's no boundary. There's no limit. So in happiness, we will become limitless. Sleep is unconscious happiness. We can get happiness when you drink a small cup of coffee, little bit happiness. In that little bit happiness, we feel unlimited. We can feel happiness when you get small amount of money. What happens when you get what you wanted? The mind becomes silent, momentarily. In the silent mind, the happiness of the self is reflected. And self is infinite. So momentarily you feel boundaryless. So that's why happiness is very closely connected to our nature. That's why we seek happiness through various means. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, where Yajnavalkya tells his wife, my dear, it's called Maitreyi Samvada. My dear Maitreyi, no husband loves wife for the sake of wife. No wife loves the husband for the sake of husband. Why they love each other? They love each other because for husband loves the wife because wife gives him happiness some way. Wife loves the husband because husband gives happiness in some way. If wife doesn't give happiness to husband, it will divorce. In ancient times, it was sannyasa. In modern days, it's divorce. So our relationships are for the sake of happiness. We want to get happiness from somebody. How is it possible? They themselves are not happy. How will you get happiness from somebody? It's like beggar and go and asking another beggar, please give me some money. So everybody is unhappy, whether you like it or not. They may look very nice, very beautiful, well dressed, with good position and power, but deep inside unhappiness is lurking because Atmadana is not there. Without Atmadana, happiness will not go. Without Atmadana, depression will not go. This is the problem. So Yajnavalkya says, wife loves the husband for the sake of happiness he gets from husband. Husband loves the wife for the sake of happiness he gets from wife. Now, why we need happiness? So now that means love means I love something because it's not love for a person or an object. Love is for the happiness. And happiness is my nature. So that's why love means I love my nature. I don't love anybody. That's the truth. That's the reality. All our love is directed to self. We don't love anybody. Everybody says, husband, boy comes and says, girl, I love you. Girl says, I love you. Actually, I love you. Love means I love myself, my inner self. But when you understand the inner self-love, that love becomes infinite, universal love. That love person has real love, a pure love, which is for everybody. Everything in the inward is loved by the person because self is everybody. Whereas in ignorance, the love for somebody is nothing but selfish love. I love myself. Myself is the body, mind, and intellect. Only Atmatnani has universal love, pure love. All other love are attachment and selfishness. Only Atmadnani has pure love and pure compassion, which is different from selfish love. The love of a guru to the shishya is pure love because guru has no sense of ego. It's universal love. Guru has nothing to get from shishya. It is the universal love which he pours on everybody. So this is the nature of happiness. Happiness, we seek happiness from relationships, money, power, position, anatmas. There's no happiness in any of them. Happiness is only in the Atma. That happiness of the Atma gets uncovered when the mind becomes silent. How does the mind become silent? Through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, Dhyana, and Karma Yoga. That is the key to uncovering the happiness within. Samadhi is the happy nature. Samadhi Abhyasa helps you to become happy. Meditation helps you to become happy. And Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, Seva makes you happy. Everything else is trying to get happiness from objects, people, persons, where there is no happiness. How will you get happiness from somebody who himself is not happy? You can get happiness from somebody who is happy, Ananda Swarupa. That's called Guru. Now, Guru will teach you how to become happy through Jnana. What else he can do? So, this is what Swami Vidyaranya has to say about happiness, the nature of happiness, Ananda Swarupa. Recognize your true nature, Ananda Swarupa. That's the only solution for coming out of depression. Everybody in the world, there are 8 billion people in the world, 8 billion unhappy people are there in the world. Only a few Jnanis are there who are really happy. Everybody else is unhappy. They may not show it. They may cover it very nicely. In the money, power, position, or relationship, they may cover it. No, my dear, no. Unhappiness is the deadliest and most common disease in the world. We say cancer is disease. Okay, people die of cancer. And many diseases we speak, chronic diseases. The chronic disease is called depression. Degree of depression is different, but everybody in the world suffers from that. And why they suffer? Because of there's no Atma Dnana, Brahma Dnana, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the self. My nature is Ananda Srupa. This Dnana is not there. That's why depression is common in the world. Degree of depression may vary. So, now any questions are there?
Okay, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
1 minute. I will unmute everybody.
Vasu, can you enable me unmute?
Yes, please.
Any questions?
1 minute, please. I will.
Meet and then come back to Zoom.
So I'll answer the questions on Google Meet and then come back to Zoom.
So I will.
Please stay in the Zoom. Answer questions on Google Meet and then come back to Zoom.
So
any questions, please?
I will unmute. I'll unmute everybody, Prabhuji, so that they can ask questions. Give me a
Any
minute.
questions, please?
1 minute, please.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. Okay, if anyone has questions, please ask, unmute and ask, and then you can mute back so that it doesn't cause disturbance. Prabhuji is here, so a nice opportunity to ask questions, please. Any
So
questions?
everybody seems to be happy.
Yes, Srinivas Rauji.
So everybody seems to be happy.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I just want to ask you, when
Anybody
is
has
that
a question?
selfishness and selflessness both become same?
Selfishness. The question is, when is selfishness and selflessness become same? So the question is, when is the selfishness and
the question is,
selflessness
when
become
is
same?
selfishness and selflessness become same?
The,
so the question
answer
is, when is the selfishness and selflessness become same?
Yes.
The answer is, when you realize I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness. Nanu nanembudu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidanandatma Shivanan nane, Shivoham. Then what happens? The small self becomes one with the large self. Then selfishness and selflessness become same.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guruji.
Selfishness and selflessness is same. Is it clear? Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Any
Guruji.
other questions from anybody else, please?
Anybody else any questions?
Guruji, namaste. Namaste, Guruji.
Go ahead, please, Venkateshwar Lore. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Guruji, in case where there are a physical
namaste,
if there are physical challenges to the body with a lot of diseases, or there is a huge challenges to our family members, how this Atma Gnana can help us to overcome those things?
Okay. So the question here is very about somebody has a lot of physical disorder. The pain, suffering is there. Okay. Or there is somebody is not well in the family. There is a suffering. How can you get Atma Dnana? So, see Atmadnana.
Prabhuji, I think the question was,
So
how will
Atmadnana
Atma-jnana help?
is not a complicated process. How will Atmadnana help is because if the question is, there are two parts to the question. In a difficult circumstance in life, can I get Atmadnana? And if I get Atmadnana, how will it help? So, let me answer the first part. Is it possible to get Atmadnana? Definitely it's possible to get Atmadnana as long as you're able to do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa and Seva. Little bit, not very big. Then, if I get Atmadnana, how it will help me? If you get Atmadnana, it will not change the outer circumstance. It will not change your family members who are deceased. Family members who are disturbed, it will not change. It will not change the disease in your body. Because Atmatnana is to realize I am not the body. So, what will help is, in all external conditions, whether family members are not happy or disturbed, whether your body has a disease, your inner peace, silence and happiness is not disturbed. This is how Atmadnana helps. Body may have pain, but inside there's a peace. Is that answer clear?
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other questions, please? Any other questions
Okay.
for Prabhuji?
So I'll go to Zoom session. You can continue in this thing, and I'll answer Zoom questions, and those people in meditation study circle can continue to listen Zoom question answers.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anybody has a question in Zoom? Zoom ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Guruji, namaste.
Namaste, go ahead.
One thing I want to ask you. You had just now had told happiness is also thought. Sorry, suffering is also thought. Each and everything is thought only. Then what?
No, I didn't say that. The question is, happiness is a thought, suffering is a thought. So that's what I didn't tell that. Happiness is absence of thought. Suffering is presence of the thought. The more thoughts you have, more suffering is there. The less thoughts you have, less happiness is there. In deep sleep, there are no thoughts, that's why happiness is there. So I didn't say happiness, both are thoughts. Happiness is not a thought.
Happiness is not a thought.
No.
Prabhuji, I think
Happiness is absence of thoughts. Silence of the mind is happiness.
Okay.
what Prabhuji
Sorry.
said, if I recall
Okay.
correctly, is I want
Next question,
happiness as
anybody?
a thought. Prabhuji, I think you
What is
might.
from birth? Somebody is asking question on birth, from birth. What is the meaning of question from birth? So if there are no questions, we'll sit silently for some time.
Namaste, Guruji.
What is it? Namaste.
Namaste, Guruji. Why we won't get Atmadhyana from birth? I asked like that.
Why will you get Atmadhyana from birth?
Why we won't get?
Why you won't get is because of Atmana. Okay, let me ask you. See the question here. By birth we should get Atmadhyana, right?
Yeah.
So by birth, what all things you get? You know, you get English knowledge, English Dnana, chemistry Dnana, biology Dnana. What Dnana you get in by birth? You by birth you get biology Adnana, chemistry Adnana, and physics Adnana. After that you'll only get it, no?
Yeah.
Huh? So by birth you get Atma Adnana, then you'll only get Atma Dnana. As simple as that.
Okay, Guruji.
By birth, you
Okay,
don't get any Jnana package.
Okay, Guruji.
Are you clear?
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. So let us sit silently for some time. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Sit silently. What is happiness? What is unhappiness? Unhappiness is continuous thoughts. Suffering is nothing but thoughts. Thoughts cause suffering. So freedom from thoughts is all about happiness. The spiritual journey is from thoughtlessness to thoughtlessness. Freedom from thoughts. Making the mind silent is the spiritual journey. How can I become free from thoughts is the question of spiritual journey. For that, we have to recognize Nanembudu Nanalla, Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla, Sachidananda Atma Shivanam Nane, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not a body, mind, and intellect. I'm pure consciousness. Let us become aware of our breath. Sit silently, become aware of your breath. As you become aware of the breath, the mind calms down, the thoughts reduce. Become aware that breath is changing, but I am the observer of breath. Sakshi. Sakshi is free from thoughts. Become aware that the breath is changing, but the observer of breath, Sakshi, is unchanging. I am Sakshi. Asatoma, Sadgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma, Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivanamnane, Shivoham, 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 Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam, Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyakjyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivosmiham, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukhino Bhavantu, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukhino Bhavantu, Lokaha Samastaha, Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namah, Harihi Om. Rub both of the hands, give on to the eyes, slowly open your eyes. So we'll close the session for today. My pranams to all meditation study circle members and Atma Jyotis who are joined on Zoom. We'll close for the session.